It's over. I did it. No more college projects, no more financial aid bullshit, no more programs or books to buy. It's all over. With that said, there's no better way to celebrate than by focusing an entire month on one of the best video game characters of all time, Mario. That and people have been pestering me for a while now to make a month of Mario ever since I made a month of Sonic. Two of them. But let's not dawdle any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Month of Mario. Mario, Mario, Mario. God, he's been everywhere. From serials, cartoon shows, a feature film, to countless amounts of merchandise, Mario is without a doubt the definitive video game character. And that's saying a hell of a lot. He has the personality of a cardboard box, jumps on anything that moves, and constantly finds himself rescuing this walking definition of an airhead from this giant turtle countless amounts of times. But you know what? Regardless of such, this guy always finds himself in some of the best games of all time. Mario may be weak plot-wise, but in terms of gameplay, it's one of the only franchises to remain consistently good since its freaking debut. Now personally, I'm a bigger Sonic fan than I am a Mario fan, but I cannot deny the quality of his games. They're good. Damn good. But let's just take a quick look back at how Mario came to be, if you've been living under a rock for the last 25 years. Back in 1981, a man named Shigeru Miyamoto, along with the supervision of the late Gunpei Yokoi, created an arcade game called Donkey Kong. In it, you control the character named Jumpman and needed to guide him to the top of the obstacle course in order to rescue his girlfriend Pauline from the giant monkey himself, Donkey Kong. During the American localization process, Mr. Miyamoto decided to name Jumpman Mario, after his office landlord at the time, Mario is it Segali or is it Segali? Or is it Segali? Whatever. You can't spell it without... Anyway, the game was incredibly simple in design, but back then this was considered the shit. It sold incredibly well and just about every console at the time had a port of the game. With Donkey Kong's success, Mr. Miyamoto wanted to experiment more with Mario himself. While Donkey Kong will go on to star in other games, one in which Mario himself is a villain, Mario will go to star in the 1983 game Mario Bros. It's here that we find out that Mario is an Italian-American plumber from New York and he has a brother named Luigi. And let's just say that this is probably the closest we'll ever see Mario doing anything remotely plumbing related. Unless there's some other Mario plumbing game I'm unaware of. The game was a modest success, but nothing amazing. It wasn't until 1985 when Mr. Miyamoto created Super Mario Bros. For the Famicom Disk System, or the Nintendo Entertainment System for everyone else. This is the very first game I ever played and beaten. Gone is the plumbing, instead we get a 2D side-scroller that places Mario in the fictitious Mushroom Kingdom, where a giant turtle named Bowser, or King Koopa in Japan, has kidnapped Princess Toadstool, or Princess Peach. Not only that, but he's also transformed all the kingdom's inhabitants into blocks and whatnot using his powerful black magic. Well, that black magic part is what the manual said. Whoa, wouldn't that mean Mario is committing murder every time he breaks a block? The plot is incredibly simple, and for a game like this back in the day, it wasn't really important. As Mario, it's up to you to travel through 8 different worlds and defeat Bowser himself in order to save the day. You control Mario with the D-pad. Holding down left or right will cause Mario to move in said direction. Holding down, if you're Super Mario, causes him to duck, so you can avoid certain projectiles if you don't feel like jumping over them. Speaking of jumping, you perform that by pressing the A button. Jumping is important. Without that, you're not going very far. The B button allows Mario to run faster when you're moving him with the D-pad, and it also allows him to build more momentum for longer jumps, which again is very important if you plan on beating the game. I cannot stress that enough. When I was a kid, just about every single adult I've seen play the game seemed to act like the B button didn't exist, and it tore me up inside seeing someone play the game so slowly. Come on guys, was it so hard to hold down the B button while moving? Anyway, throughout your travels you can collect coins, which besides adding points to your meaningless score, can also net you an extra life if you collect 100 of them. Scattered throughout each level are glowing boxes with question marks. By jumping under them, you can release what's inside. Most of the time, it's coins, but other times it can contain power-ups. Now, Mario himself may run fast and jump high, especially for a fat guy, but his endurance sucks ass. If you run into anything hazardous, your ass is dead. Just one hit, and you're dead. With power-ups, you can make your journey a little easier. When a mushroom pops up, you can become Super Mario, which not only makes you bigger, but can also allow you to take an extra hit. While Super Mario, you can also collect a Fire Flower, which is awesome. You can spit fireballs and absolutely nuke just about anything in your path. Well, almost anything. You can also obtain a Starman, which grants you temporary invincibility. You glow many colors and you can teach enemies the misery of touch damage. Hidden throughout each world are green mushrooms, which grant you an extra life, but like I said, they're usually hidden, so you'll need to dig deep if you plan on finding any. Sometimes you can also travel down certain pipes, which lead to bonus rooms where you can collect lots of coins. And there's also the rare vine that can take you high up into the sky and again collect tons of coins. Coins, coins, coins. Though Super Mario Bros. Is mainly a single player adventure, if you have a buddy along with you, you can play a two-player game, where player 2 can control Luigi. You don't play at the same time, but rather you alternate whenever one player dies. Besides a change in colors, they play exactly the same, though looking back, it's weird that Luigi looks exactly like Mario when he attains the Fire Flower. In fact, I think this is the only game where Luigi's default colors are white overalls with the green undershirt, which would become his Fire Flower outfit in later games. The further you travel, the more difficult the game gets. Most of the time, you'll be controlling Mario on foot, where you just have to maneuver through many obstacles, platforms, and enemies. Sometimes the setting can be atop many trees, while other times you can be underground, where it's dark, dank, and full of piranha plants. Occasionally, and by that I mean 2 times, you'll come across the water level, where you need to guide Mario underwater and swim your way to the exit while avoiding all the fishes, squids, and bottomless pits that can suck you in. The castle levels are certainly the most dangerous. There's hazardous obstacles all over the place, bottomless pits aplenty, and little to no power-ups available. Some of them can also be like mazes, like the ones where if you go in the wrong direction, the stage loops over and over again. The overall level design is incredibly linear. There aren't really any multiple paths to explore besides the occasional bonus room, and every level has only one exit to reach. If you're of the speedrunning type, you can discover hidden warp zones where you can skip whole worlds entirely. In fact, if you know where to find the right warp zones, you can beat the game in about 5 minutes. I'm not kidding. Enemies come in many flavors. You have Goombas, which are pathetic and only exist for you to step on. Koopa Troopas, which after stomping retract in their shell, which you can kick around and knock other enemies. Oh shit! Sticking out of some pipes are piranha plants, but if you stand next to the pipe they're in, or stand on top of it, they don't come out at all. Huh, it's kind of a stupid weakness if you ask me, but moving on, we also have Buzzy Beetles, which are just like Koopa Troopas, only these guys are immune to the Fire Flower. Eventually you'll come across Lakitus, which only exist to drop Spinies, which Mario can't jump on. Underwater you can come across Cheep Cheeps and Bloopers, who are impossible to kill without the Fire Flower. Oh yeah, you can use fire underwater. What? In a world where Fat Man can jump high, mushrooms make you big, and turtles have a vendetta against you, did you honestly think this game will be at least scientifically accurate? Last but certainly not least, we have Hammer Brothers, my most hated enemy. They jitter left and right, jump up and throw hammers, and most of the time you'll meet them in pairs. Now, they don't give me trouble all the time, but this fucker right here always gives me shit! Near the end of the final castle, and right before this lava pit, we probably have one of the worst offenders of horrible enemy placement ever in video game history. Yes, even worse than fucking slicers.
Why is this Hammer Brother here?
Do you know how hard it is to successfully kill a Hammer Brother by jumping on it? Come on, shit! Alright, damn it! Oh, what the flying fuck? You gotta be shitting me! That's it, there's gotta be a hidden power-up block somewhere around here. Come on. Nothing? There's nothing here? Oh shit, I'm running out of time! Fuck! Okay. And there you have it, folks. Sometimes you just gotta say fuck it and run. At the end of a world, you have to conquer one of Bowser's castles and defeat him by either getting behind him and touching this axe, or you can continually nuke him with the Fire Flower, which reveals that you weren't really fighting Bowser, just a miserable clone. After defeating a Bowser wannabe, you find out that the princess is in another castle, and you're gonna hear that about 6 more times. What the fuck? Initially, the only thing that Bowser clones do is jump and shoot fireballs out of their mouths. But after World 5, I believe, they begin to throw hammers into the mix as well. Personally, I recommend trying to run under Bowser to beat him, but if you have enough speed, you can try to jump over him as well, assuming there's no hammers in your path. The real Bowser is in the final castle, and, well, he has all the same tactics as all the other Bowser wannabes. He occasionally jumps, shoots fireballs, and throws a shit ton of hammers. Kind of a letdown really, but after sending him to hell, you can finally rescue the princess. She presents you a second quest, which is really just the hard mode, where Goombas are replaced with Buzzy Beetles, and both they and Koopa Troopas move a little faster. You also get a level select. That's nice. Graphically speaking, for the 80s, this game probably looked amazing for the time. The environments are bright, everything is perfectly distinguishable from one another, and it's never too hard on the eyes. Even today, I think the game still looks nice. I wouldn't say spectacular, but with the simplicity of it all, I think it aged nicely. Musically speaking, I mean, come on, show me one person who doesn't at least know the overworld theme and I will show you someone who is lying out of their ass. Besides the overworld theme though, the musical pieces are incredibly short. Really short. But you know what? They never get annoying with me. I can't quite explain it, but maybe it's just my nostalgia filter kicking in. Honestly though, how many times has the overworld theme been remixed, arranged, and reused for future games? It's probably impossible to determine, but again, I never get sick of it. Koji Kondo, for making one of the catchiest tunes in video game history, I say, God damn it. Though Super Mario Bros. Has aged well, there are problems I have with the game. For one, I think the control can be a bit finicky when you're moving too fast. You see, when Mario runs at top speed, he's carrying a shit ton of momentum, so even if you let go of the D-pad, Mario will still travel a considerable amount of distance before completely stopping. Because of that, I sometimes find myself losing control during tricky jumps and fall to my death, even when I try to reposition myself with the D-pad. There's also times where the jump isn't as responsive as I liked it to be. It's really not a big deal, but when it does occur, it can get annoying. Finally, there's shit like this. And that's annoying. Super Mario Bros. Isn't a very long game. It shouldn't take you more than an hour to complete it. Being an NES game from the 80s, the difficulty may catch you off guard at times. It isn't too hard, but it certainly isn't easy either. But difficulty is usually a subjective matter, so I'll let you decide on how difficult the game is. Just play your best and you should be fine. That or you can just use the one-up trick. Man, I love doing that. Super Mario Bros. Is one of the best-selling games of all time. Over 40 million copies sold. Damn. It used to be the best-selling game of all time, but it was toppled by Wii Sports of all games. Wii Sports? Really? No, well, but honestly, Super Mario Bros. Is one of those games that just about anybody can pick up and play. I don't know a single person, either family or friend, who hasn't played Super Mario Bros. In one way or another. If you're just getting into video games and you're looking for some place to start, try playing Super Mario Bros. Its simple premise, simple game design, and simple controls make it simple to pick up and play. There's a reason it sold a shit ton of copies. Well, besides being bundled with the NES, but you get my point. With that said, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Over 25 years, it's still pretty fun to play, though it isn't something I'll go out of my way to play multiple times. In fact, I can say that about a lot of Mario games, but that's for another time. Now you may be wondering, just how on earth am I going to review all 5 classic Mario titles by the end of the month, given that I'm starting this series around the middle of April? Well, it's simple, actually. Because Mario games have next to no plot, I can go straight into the gameplay instead of having the plot summary that I usually give on my other game reviews. So with that said, next time we meet, we're going to go straight into Super Mario Bros. 2 from the NES. And by that I mean Super Mario Bros. 2 USA, and not... I know, I really guess I should do that game, shouldn't I? Fuck!